What's going on, people? Welcome to United View and welcome to the full view, but in a different format. We are here in person at UVHQ. It's not the virtual settings. It's almost like a full view extra, or the real full view, because it's in real life. Do you know what I'm saying? Big up to Cam, big up to DJ, big up to Steph, big up to Marcel, and big up to you guys as well. And these are gonna be brilliant, because what we're gonna be doing is talking about some of the biggest topics as well. And we're gonna cover them in short little bite-sized episodes for you to just get your teeth into in this international break as well. So without any further ado, the first topic where we are starting our full view conversation in real life is: where will Manchester United finish in the league this season? Now, obviously, we're fighting on all fronts for, one trophy in the bag. FA Cup is looming at Wembley with Brighton. And then obviously Europa League, we know we've got to face Seville, and if we beat them, we face either Juve or Sporting, and we've got a chance. But the league, start left and we'll go round, or you guys will be right and go left. But Cam, where are we going to finish in the league?
For me, it all comes down to that game away at St James's in a couple of weeks. As long as we don't lose that, I think we're pretty much nailed on for third place. We're not going to overtake City or Arsenal at this point. We just know that. Just hopefully we go to St James's. Even if we only get a point, even if we have to park the bus for 90 minutes, do what they did to us. Time waste from the start. Just don't let them have anything. Because if we do that, we're finishing third. I don't see any other team beating us. Spurs, every time they get a sniff of some points, every time they get a sniff of top four,
crap.
Losing games again.
Awful, yeah, awful.
Shocking. So they're not a threat. Liverpool are back. Liverpool are properly back to what they are now. So they're no threat. Chelsea, Fulham aren't going to get top four, are they? So, well, especially with Xtra out for probably 6-7 games now after whatever he did on the rest.
Disgracefulness yesterday. Disgracefulness.
You can't condone that, can you? Terrible behaviour.
No. So you're saying that's the, because it is, I hate that term, that cliche 6-pointer. But literally the one against Fulham, against Newcastle, it really is a big game because, they're 3 points behind us, I believe, on the same games as us. And it's like, if they win that, psychologically it can hurt. But they still got tough games as well.
They're doing the same tricks as us, though. They've pulled Nick Pope out of international duty. We've just pulled Rashford out of international duty. It's all starting. It's all hotting up properly. Yeah. But I think that game is where it comes down to. I think even if we do lose that, I think we'd still finish in the top four. But if we win that, we're nailed on for third, easy.
DJ, nailed on for third, easy?
Yeah, I think third's a true reflection of where we are. I think the two teams above us, just slightly a bit more consistency. They're winning when it matters. We've kind of slowed down. And that's just because of all the competitions we're in. So I think third is a fair reflection, and I think third is a great position for Ten Hag to be in coming in opening season.
Could you have even imagined us being third this year?
No. On some of the shows like last year, I was saying I thought we'd maybe get fifth, sixth. I was happy with that just because of the state of the way the club was going. But Ten Hag's come in and he's sort of like just expanded and raised the bar in terms of kind of what we're expecting now. And I think, in a way, it's difficult for him to deliver that because our squad's so thin. He hasn't put the finishing touches on his squad yet. And to get third, which I think comfortably will get, it is a big achievement. So yeah, it's way more than I expected.
Do you think we can get the result though as well at Newcastle? Because that is a tough game,
yeah. No, it is. Listen, it is a tough game, but I still think when United turn up, we have a little bit too much for them. They are good, and if we play the football that we're known for playing under Ten Hag, we can beat him. I'm not really worried about that. If we turn up, we get the points.
2 lots of finishing third over here.
Well,
3 lots.
I don't think it's a flex. I don't know if you remember, but we did a full view at the beginning of the season in August, and for the life of me, if I was a better social media person, I would clip that shit and I would put it back up there because you asked me that we did a full view last August, and you asked us all respectively in that full view, you were like, do you think we'll win a cup and what position? And I turned around and I said to you, we're going to win 1 cup and we're going to finish third. Now I get that it's not.
Yeah.
I get that it's not the end of the season just yet, so our position could slip down to fourth. But no, I completely agree. I think we will get third, although I'm not as confident as DJ when you said third comfortably. I am worried about the Newcastle game. Not particularly necessarily because of the players that Newcastle have, but we can clearly see that fatigue is setting in with our team. And also, St James's Park is one of the most difficult places to go to. Honestly, it's one of the most difficult away games.
Especially with how they're playing now as well.
Yeah, and then the final thing I would probably say is, out of all of the teams who are currently behind us, Newcastle is the biggest threat. But on top of like the overarching thing, I'm slightly concerned about is our away form. So I don't know. Once it gets towards the end of the season, we just need to watch that, and I think Ten Hag needs to manage the team, manage that fatigue. But we have just the right amount of squad depth, I think, to get through.
We can deal with it. Because obviously, we know Casemiro. Obviously, he's 1 game into his 4 now. 3 games left. Midfield. We've seen Eriksen coming back for end of April. We'd probably imagine. Sabitzer's new, but it's really hard for him, isn't it? But how do you feel the midfield will be in this sort of running?
Yeah, again, yesterday it was shocking, wasn't it? The midfield, there was no midfield in the first half. The game against Fulham yesterday, but I think we can do it. I say we collectively. I think Ten Hag can do it. We have the players there to be able to cope with whatever comes at us in the midfield. And I say that we have the players. I mean, you've got Sabitzer, Eriksen's coming back, Bruno. I would be less confident if all we were relying on was McTominay and Fred. I would be less confident if that was the case, but we have other good technical players in the midfield. So yeah.
Marcel, Steph is actually saying she's still sticking to her prediction, really, which is a comfortable.
I need to find that. I'll dig it out.
We have to dig that out. Are you saying? And 1 cup?
I said 1 cup. Yeah.
Are you going with third? That's the ceiling?
I mean,
or are you going to do a Marcel and say, I tell you, Man City could implode, Flex. And I tell you what, we're going to finish second.
I was just about to say, you never know. There's going to be more twists and turns. There's going to be more twists and turns. I think, we're talking about, DJ has obviously mentioned the Newcastle game and how important that is. Everyone's mentioned the Newcastle game and how important that is, to be honest with you. And I do agree. I think it's an important game. I think we might lose that game. We haven't been brilliant away from home. Steph mentioned it. And you've been very honest. We haven't been good away from home. Even the top 6.
Against the top 10, we haven't been good.
Against the top 10, Flex. So it's just, for me, I'm really worried about that game. The best performance that I can remember against the top 6, top 10 was maybe Chelsea. We should have maybe won that game. I would like to see us really, have a good resurgence of form now, because that's dipping as well. I would say third. I think I agree with everyone. Third, maybe fourth, but you never know. There's more twists and turns, and I wouldn't say that the Newcastle game is the important game. I would say the 28th of April, I think we're playing Spurs. Brighton have now come in for the week before that. We're meant to be playing Chelsea, but the the cup games,
because there are. But that's just it. You said, didn't it, Cam, about like, okay, if we beat Newcastle, then okay, we're comfortably third, etc. You could say like that, but it is still quite a few games to play. We have to play Chelsea at home. We have to play Spurs away, and I know you can laugh at Spurs, they're crap as shit, which they are. But it's it's another big game. We have to play Brighton away in the league. That's not easy. There are some tough games. You've got to play Bournemouth away, who are fighting for their lives. They beat Liverpool at home. Like, I'm not saying that we should easily just dust these teams down, but you're right. There's still a lot. It isn't just on that Newcastle game. But if you do win that, I think because everyone else has got to play each other as well. They're in and around that area, which is usually the case with the battle for third to fourth to fifth. It's a bit like this. Everyone kind of drops points sometimes or draw. No one really grabs it and says, right, we're going to go on a run. Otherwise, you'd be second and first and pushing for the league. So, yeah, I see that. I'm not going to lie, though. I was saying to Owen the other day, I was like, it's good to build the confidence with these cup situations. We needed that against Betis. We needed it against Fulham. So that builds the confidence. I am a bit worried. I think I'm just getting worried because we're not obviously playing a lot of Premier League games at the moment. And I don't know, we look really jaded and really tired. But I think the key is who can be back for Newcastle and this little bit of a break. I think it's come at the perfect time because, I don't know, man, I looked at the Betis game, and it's a bit hard, isn't it? Because they were, 4-1 down, so they were going to just come at us. It's a bit, normal games aren't quite like that, but I thought we were just really open, wasn't very good. Fulham were very good. For 75 minutes, okay, we all laughed at the red cards and stuff, but actually, it was a really concerning
game should have been very, very different.
And Eric Ten Hag, he said we played well. Obviously, he's got to defend his, players, and we had a couple of little moments where actually if we would have, made the final pass correctly or whatever, then yeah. But largely, it was Fulham just really aggressive in the press. We couldn't get out. We were playing slow, etc., etc. But for me, I do think we'll finish third, but I'm not as confident on the third bit. Like I think we could finish fourth. I don't know, just because of FA Cup. I think we're going to beat Brighton, so we've got that in the minds. Europa League. I just think because we keep going, we're going to get these little blips. But maybe I can counteract that, Cam, by saying, well, we'll get them players back as well. So I don't know, but I just feel like it's a fight for third. I don't think it's comfortable. It's a fight for third.
Yeah, you know what the big thing is with us at the moment is that because our style of play that Ten Hag's built is based so heavily around creating transitions, creating 1v1 battles all over the pitch, it means that when we are physically tired, mentally fatigued, we're 10 times more exposed than we otherwise would be. Because if we're just defending space, just covering things, if someone messes up, they don't do their job quite as well as they could in the press. There's someone 5 yards away that can help them out. At the moment, because there's so many 1v1 battles, we're quite wide, we're quite exposed. So if someone does, maybe Weghorst dives in the press, doesn't quite move his feet quickly enough to get really close to the man he's pressing, or Bruno doesn't quite sort of win the first ball or stop the guy turning like he did on Polinia, if they're able to nick the ball round and draw past the player, there's a lot of open space to cover, and because our players are so spread out because of those 1v1 battles, we're getting more exposed than we otherwise would be at the moment. And when we're sort of physically in a good place, in terms of we haven't had to play 3 games a week for 3 months, we're able to win those 1v1 situations. We get a lot of transitions, generate a lot of chaos, and that's what our players thrive on. But when we're not, it means we're a lot more open, a lot more exposed, and then that in turn means that because you're more open and exposed, you have to put even more physical effort into the games, makes it even worse for the next few games. So yes, after the game, Ten Hag came out and said we did all right. I think what Ten Hag does is when we win, he doesn't go over the top with his praise.
When we lose,
he praises more than, say, the negatives. So he tries to keep it quite even, which is nice. But he will know the most important thing we can do is get more players back. I think one of the things we've seen the midfield structure changing quite a bit recently, the way we're trying to play out, just because we haven't got anyone in the centre that can actually progress the ball up the pitch. Yeah. So we've had to change it, having Sabitzer and Bruno a little bit wider, playing as 8s rather than having a double pivot because we haven't got Eriksen. Bringing Eriksen back into this team will make a huge difference. It'll be basically like having a new signing because it's been missing for months.
Especially at this point, because it's weird, because with Eriksen, just before he got injured, it was, he started so well. I'm always waxing lyrical about Eriksen. Yeah. And it was like, it was working perfectly because he was getting sort of tiring towards the sort of 70th minute. Sometimes a little bit earlier, but 70th where you're thinking, right, get Fred in here now. Fred would take the reins and then we'd see the game out. And then you go back to not having Eriksen for a long period of time, like Cam's saying there, DJ. We're feeling it. What I wanted to do actually, because I know we ain't got long left in this episode, I don't want to go around the room. There's no way that, are we all in agreement that we can't implode and miss out on top 4? Start with DJ and then go around.
I think Ten Hag's used the word mentality. So I think that these players are under a mentality right now where they need to be performing. We can mention, tired players, and I'm sure they are very, very tired, but I think just having the mentality from the manager and that culture he's trying to bring in, especially if we win a few things, I can see us getting top 4. We can get top 4. I don't think we'll be out of it.
Marcel, is there a way that we can, we're focusing so much on these cups, FA Cup final, you could say, oh yeah, great, Europa League final, yeah, but we finished 5th.
Exactly. It's a great question because you're fighting on...
Because that's the priority now, isn't it? And this is kind of 2 questions actually. Is the priority to make sure we get top 4 or to get another cup?
So Steph's prediction is the best for us. A cup and a third position. I think that's more important than 2 cups and no third position or no progression into Champions League, unless it's Europa League.
I was just about to say that though, because if one of the cups, but the problem with that is you'd have to finish 5th and then wait to see what happens in is it Budapest? To find out, and we don't want to be having to go into a Europa League final against arguably a Jose Mourinho side maybe and say we have to win this to get top 4.
Yeah, so that's the only reason why I'd say we're fighting on different fronts. It's going to be hard. It could potentially implode. A massive point that everyone's saying about Eriksen coming back in. You need him. That's going to add control to the midfield areas. It's very possible though. There's so many games, and we've been playing for 3 months now. 3 games a week. It's taxing on the body, man. So, but I believe in this team. And I believe in Ten Hag. I think he'll be able to bring, the team together at the right moments. And he's always been able to deal with problems through the whole season. Players coming out, players coming in, issues outside the pitch, issues on the pitch. So I believe you'll be able to see us through into top 4.
Steph, can we do better than that? Can we win a couple of cups? Could we do the treble light and get third as well?
The treble light.
Treble light.
So you mean the double then?
Well, I mean, it's still a treble, but it's the treble light. Yeah.
I think it's. I honestly, I can't. I'd love to say I can confidently say us winning all those 3 cups and then finishing third.
Do you feel something along the road's got to give? Whether it's one of those cups, we're going to slip up somewhere.
Exactly, and I think when it gets down to the wire, when you're playing these games, you know, the final is the final. There's no second leg of anything, so it could even be down. And I hope that I'm not like projecting manifesting it. But you know, when it gets to those kind of moments, you know, you don't never know whether fatigue is set in. It could be a moment of madness, like what happened with Fulham yesterday. We could have shocking refereeing, which we've seen all season. It could be a number of things. So I'm not like gambling. I'm not putting all of my eggs in that basket of we're going to win. We're going to win 3 trophies and a cup. 3 trophies and finish in third. One thing I would say very quickly, I don't necessarily think at this stage, ironically, I don't think it's about fatigue in these final games. I actually think it's about man management and mentality. And which is why that leads me to be very confident, because I have trust in Ten Hag. I think he's great at man management, and like Marcel, like you just said, he's been dealing with all sorts of shit off the pitch, and he's had a lot thrown at him this season from pundits and media and everything. He's dealt with it really well, and I think that he can deal with these players, and I think we'll make it through.
But one thing we do know about Ten Hag though is that he will just continue like he has been. That is one thing that we can put our hats on, in it, DJ, in terms of. Oh, okay, so, you got an away leg against Seville, have you? Oh, but you're already 2-0 up for... So, Casemiro, Bruno, Fred, or Eriksen by then, or Rashford, maybe not Garnacho by then, but, do you know, strong. Martinez, you know, because we saw yesterday against Fulham, you know, you put Maguire in there, you know, against Martinez, and it's like Martinez has got to do double the work, quadruple the work. And, no.
I said on the match for yesterday, I said Martinez is doing the job of 2 people. He is literally. There was one moment he was running over to the left-hand side, running back to the right-hand side. Maguire standing there, just stuck.
It's mad because just as you were saying, like with Ten Hag, I think I know. See, listening to Ten Hag, he gasses me up because I'm sitting there and I'm like. But Ten Hag, like, the players are tired. There's a lot of games we played. You know, players are slowing down. But he'll come out, just as you said. He goes hard in the paint. He's like, nah, my full 11. We won it all, and now I won it all though.
Yeah.
Because I think what he's thinking is the more wins you get, you win one cup, it's just going to spur you on. It's
it does, give you that even if they were knackered, like even winning in the circumstances we won against Fulham, we're still now at Wembley. Yeah. You got a day out, like obviously it don't matter if you lose, it's a semi-final, it's not a fight, but you go to Wembley, it's a big occasion, and you win
it's one
that.
Step closer as
knowing that you're in an FA Cup final just in the bag, just feels good. On top of the Carabao Cup, then you know you beat Sevilla, hopefully, you know, it's true. Being in the multiple competitions helps you actually when the chips are down.
And he was saying that, you know, he goes, my players like it because he goes, people are complaining Thursday, Sunday, but he's like, my players like it. Like, they like the games coming around quickly. And we can never truly know because we're not obviously the players, but from an outside perspective, the players are slowing down. And as you're right, like some of the games we've had to really push hard for the win and get a result. And it does take a lot out of the players. So it still remains to be seen. We have players come back. I think Martial's been mentioned. You know, so he would be a welcome addition.
He might actually. This should be a whole episode. Actually, wait there. Do you know what? It's not really on our things but actually, I might even put it in a different one. I think that could be a separate one. I've had a bit of a brain light bulb moment there. But yeah, okay, fair enough. I get it. So just to finish off, we'll start this way around and just finish off. Finally, Man United's league position. Where are we finishing?
Third place.
Listen, mate, bro, if you believe that, when have you ever been one to change what you think because of what we like? That's your opinion. Do you think could there be a bit of a shock there second?
It's possible. Football. We're talking about football, guys. Okay. You know, anything really is possible. But I'm gonna say third just to be safe. And I really want to see the Europa League be lifted. Seville, you know, us beating Seville is a massive thing mentally. You know, talking about light bulb moments, you know, things, pointers and key moments within the story arc of Ten Hag. developing as a squad, always been, you know, Spanish, bogey teams. Yeah. I'd like to beat some of them.
Okay, Steph?
Finishing third, yeah. Quietly confident. And I think, Europa League as well as,
Third.
Cam?
Yeah, it's all in the culture. Ten Hag's not giving the players any excuses because he knows at United, anything you say in the press gets magnified 10 million times. He's not coming out once to say, oh, we're worried about refereeing or we're all tired, the fixture congestion's ridiculous. He's not giving them a single excuse. So he knows that they can't hide behind anything. They can't be like, well, you went out in the press, you said we're tired. There's nothing. So you know he's going to get them finishing third. And if we end up in a point where we're in a sticky spell or we're conceding goals or whatever, he will change to a back five. He will be as defensive as he needs to be. He will make sure we get that job done. So I 100% back it. He'll be as pragmatic as he needs to be, as he's been all season, compromised his principles a little bit for the good of the team. Yeah, we're getting third.
It's like with the Casemiro's one as well. You know, when they asked him, how are you going to cope with before the guy even finished his thing, he said, listen, well, we've won games with Casemiro. We've done it. We've done it before. We've done it. So before you keep, we have won without him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he shuts it down.
He knows what to do. So there you have it. Love that, guys. Love that. Our first of our little mini segments of the real full view in a real life. I like that. We've got plenty more to come. And next up on the next episode is going to be a big one because we kind of touched on it during this episode. Can Martial impact the rest of the season? I want to talk about that because actually he's been missing the whole time after this international break when he gets that last piece of rest. I don't want to jinx this, but surely he's got to be featuring and impacting on our game. Or do you think it's a waste of time? Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and make sure you are at the next episode of The Full View to find out. Peace.